Gold is sitting near a 1-month high on a lot of live feeds right now. You can see it on the major spot dashboards. But silver's move was the tell, not because silver is more important than gold, not because silver is safer, because silver is the metal that usually exposes pressure first. Gold can grind higher and everybody calls it normal. Hedge, central banks, geopolitics, rates. Silver doesn't get that luxury. When silver starts outperforming, when it starts leading on a percentage basis, when it refuses to die on dips, that's the market quietly admitting the stress is not just talk. It's moving into the system. And tonight I'm going to show you 3 things: tight, usable, and measurable. 1, why silver is the early warning signal. 2, the 3 tells that confirm it's real. And 3, the exact line that tells you it's a trap flush instead. Next 24-48 hours decide which one it is. 1 word in the comments, just 1, so we keep engagement clean. Tell if you think silver is leading and that's the signal. Fade if you think silver's move gets sold and gold stays the only safe bid. Tell or fade. Now, 1 credibility guardrail so nobody clips 1 sentence and runs a narrative. I'm not going to ask you to trust me on price. Pull up any live dashboard you use, Kitco, gold price, your broker feed. Gold and silver are right there, updating tick by tick. What matters is behavior. Gold near the top of its 30-day range while silver is doing the louder thing, moving with urgency and compressing the gap between them. And that brings us to the biggest correction from the last draft, because you were right to call it out. Those 91, 90.8, 88 levels should not be framed as silver's dollar price. They should be framed as the gold to silver ratio. So let's lock the definition. The gold to silver ratio, GSR, is simply gold price divided by silver price. It tells you how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. If the ratio is falling, silver is outperforming gold. If the ratio is rising, silver is lagging or getting sold harder. That is why silver's move is the tell, because it changes the ratio. All right, here's the clean tradable map. Ratio, not silver price. Shelf, GSR, 91. Trigger, GSR, 90.8. Retest pocket, GSR, 89.8. Flush magnet, GSR, 88. And here's the interpretation. If GSR drops and holds below the shelf, silver is outperforming. Tell is real. If GSR spikes back up, silver is getting treated like a risk asset. Tell fades. Now, why do I like the ratio map more than a bunch of dollar levels? Because it removes 1 major trap. You stop arguing about whether silver is $29 or 30 wars, or whether your futures month differs. Ratio compresses those differences into 1 signal: relative leadership. And leadership is what we care about. Now, why is silver the early warning signal in the first place? 3 reasons. Fast, not lectury. Reason 1, silver is thinner. Gold is huge, deep liquidity, central bank demand, a global reserve asset. It can move to a 1-month high without drama. Silver is smaller, it moves faster, it reveals stress sooner. So when gold is calmly near a 1-month high and silver starts moving harder, you're watching marginal demand expressed through the more sensitive instrument. Reason 2, silver sits in the overlap of money and material. Gold is mostly monetary. Silver is monetary and industrial. So when the market starts repricing real-world constraints, manufacturing inputs, supply chain stress, I need the metal, not the story, silver catches a different kind of bid. Reason 3, silver exposes pay-per-view's physical tension faster. Gold's physical market is massive and globally distributed. Silver's physical market can show dislocations faster, premiums, delivery behavior, inventory shifts. And you've just watched the market get a reminder of upstream cost pressure with the PPI report. Final demand up 0.5% in January and 2.9% over the year per BLS, meaning policy stress and volatility risks stay alive. Now, here's the key persuasion line, but I'll keep it grounded. Gold near a 1-month high tells you people are cautious. Silver leading tells you the system is strained. Caution can last a long time. Strain eventually forces repricing. Now let's get to the 3 tells I promised, the ones that make this measurable instead of vibes. Tell number 1, the ratio must compress and then hold. Not a 1-hour dip, not a wick. If silver is truly the tell, the GSR should compress and then stop snapping back instantly. You're looking for acceptance below your shelf. Again, think 91, 90.8 behavior, not as an exact prophecy, but as a clear structure you can read. Tell number 2, silver must survive the retest. The first move is emotion. The retest is truth. Markets test twice. First wave, headline move. Second wave, prove it test. If silver is leading, it doesn't just spike, it holds the retest while gold stays firm. Tell number 3, Physical stress gauges don't cool off the way they normally do. I'm not going to fake one global premium number because premiums vary by region, product, and dealer behavior. Here's the actionable method that doesn't lie. Pick one dealer, pick one 1Oz coin, pick one bar, track premium percent and lead time today versus last week. If spot dips and premiums stay stubborn relative to their own history, physical is absorbing volatility. If premiums collapse immediately, physical stress is easing. Now, I'm going to drop a single shock math moment, just one, because you asked for proof density without turning this into a spreadsheet. COMEX registered silver dipping below 100 ounces was reported recently, with a widely cited snapshot around 98.1 registered on Feb 11, 2026 per major metals coverage. One silver futures contract is 5,000 Oz, so 100 ounces equals about 20,000 contracts worth of deliverable inventory. The point isn't conspiracy, the point is the deliverable buffer can be thinner than the paper ecosystem implies, and that's why silver reacts harder when stress rises. Now, this is where we cleanly separate the two narratives. Narrative A, gold up because hedge. Narrative B, silver up because pressure. Gold alone can rise on fear while the real economy weakens. Silver leading usually means something else is happening, either industrial demand expectations, supply chain tightness, or a repricing of monetary stress that's spilling into real stuff. And this is why silver's move was the tell. Because gold can climb without forcing anyone to panic. Silver climbing forces questions: why is the thinner metal moving harder? Why is the ratio compressing? Why isn't silver fading the way it often does when liquidity tightens? Now I want to turn this into a clean countdown structure so retention stays high. In the next 24-48 hours, the market must answer one question: is silver being treated like a risk asset or like a repricing instrument? And there's a clean way to read that without guessing. If the ratio compresses and holds, silver is being treated like repricing pressure. If the ratio compresses and snaps back violently, silver is still treated like a leveraged toy. That's it. Now, midscript micro CTA, one extra, not three. If you're watching the ratio, type GSR in the comments. Just GSR. Now, let's do scenarios bearish first, bullish second, OG style. Bearish scenario, fade. Gold stays near the 1 month high. Silver spikes, but it fails the retest. GSR compresses briefly and then jumps back higher, meaning silver underperforms. How it prints. Silver move gets sold into. Gold stays firm. Ratio expands. In that scenario, silver was a head fake, just volatility, not leadership. Bullish scenario, tell confirms. Gold stays firm near the top of its 30-day range. Silver holds the retest, GSR compresses and stays compressed, silver continues outperforming. That's the tell becoming real, because if the safe haven gold is strong and the pressure valve in silver is leading at the same time, the market is not just hedging fear, it's repricing stress. Now, one more credibility add that supports the macro heat claim without overdoing it. The BLS PPI release shows final demand services up 0.8% in January, goods down 0.3%, and final demand up 2.9% over the year. AP notes the increase exceeded economists' forecasts, and that core wholesale prices, excluding food energy, rose 0.8% and 3.6% YY. Again, don't overfit one print, but it keeps the policy stress backdrop alive. And policy stress is what silver sniffs out. Now let's fix the lecture mode risk with rapid reveals. Here's what you need to watch, and only what you need to watch. 1, is gold still firm near the high? 2, is silver still outperforming on a percentage basis? 3, is GSR compressing and holding? If yes to all 3, the tell is real. If gold holds but silver fades, the tell was a head fake. Now, let's keep the behavior over price guardrail intact. I'm not asking you to believe silver up X% without checking. Use your own feeds. Kitco shows live spot prices for both metals. Gold-silver ratio calculators update in real time. You verify, then you interpret. Now the trap flush map, because the user asked for what breaks it. If the ratio is your signal, the break is simple. If GSR spikes back above the shelf after a compression attempt, silver leadership failed. That's the tell fades moment. Now, the confirmation map. If GSR breaks below your trigger and holds, meaning silver is outperforming in a sustained way, that's the tell confirms moment. Now I'll add one practical reason this matters for positioning. Most people are comfortable owning gold. Fewer people are comfortable owning silver. Silver has scars attached to it: volatility, stop runs, fake outs. That creates under ownership. Under ownership is fuel. So when silver starts leading and holds the retest, you get a slow panic, not fear panic, position panic. People chase, shorts cover, the ratio compresses further. That's how silver becomes the tell. Now, final frame, this is the replayable close. Gold near a 1 month high is the headline. Silver leading is the tell because gold says hedge, silver says pressure. Explosive doesn't mean up. Explosive means fragile. So we don't argue stories. We watch behavior. 3 tells. Did the GSR compress below the shelf and hold? Did silver survive the retest? Did physical stress gauges stay stubborn even on dips? If yes, tell is real. If no, tell fades. Tell or fade. Pick one. and then watch what the market refuses to do next. Logic over hype, always.